I am super excited to cover this one. So, we've been talking about YNW Melly because it is such a polarizing case. Like, the details around it, the evidence, the cell phone coverage, which, as you guys know, if you've been watching for a while, that's kind of my area of expertise from working in that industry for, a decade and a half, and dealing directly with towers and kind of how that works. The YNW Melly case, they had him under 10 towers, literally 10 towers. So if you're on one of our streams, you're asking about, okay, well, it doesn't sound like cell phone coverage is reliable. Look at the YNW Melly case. That is totally reliable.
And it can be reliable.
It can, absolutely. There's a reason why the FBI prioritizes that. But what's important is it's reliable when you have multiple towers. You have to. If you don't have multiple, then you're not going to get that reliability. But we brought up in a breaking news last week that they were bringing up accusations against the prosecutor in supporting a potential investigator that was willing to lie and or cover up a faulty search warrant with YNW Melly's mother, where they got the phone and she said that the officer was being too rough, and the officer didn't wait until another officer was there, that it was their jurisdiction. So he should have been there with the officer in the jurisdiction of that other officer, and essentially the search was started before the jurisdictional officer was there. And then with multiple people in the room, that same officer that essentially broke the law asked the jurisdictional officer to lie for him, and then the prosecution, according to the defense, hid all this information. So they brought it forth to the judge, and that's where we saw the judge get super heated and asking the prosecution, like, okay, well, where is the lead prosecutor? What is going on here? This information directly affects her, and you're telling me she's not here? Just like super angry. Well, the prosecutor has been removed from the YNW Melly murder trial after defense accusations of withholding information. Bam. Crazy.
Yeah. I did not see it coming. Even though I knew there were major problems there with the prosecutor, I didn't see that coming. It's not normal.
It is not normal at all. And I think that this is a huge deal for the defense and YNW Melly, because through this whole case, the defense has essentially been suggesting little slights that the investigation hasn't been conducted right, that they've been judgmental towards Melly, trying to say, hey, you're a gang member because you wore this jacket, which it's just, that's wild to me. I don't think we can lean on clothing unless you can show like very repetitive clothing after another, showing like, if you're from Los Angeles and you're a Crip, you're wearing blue and something that has LA on it. You know what I mean? Like, that's a very obvious sign of gang attire. Now, showing a picture of Melly in a raincoat, in my opinion, that seems like stretching, you know what I mean? Yeah. So the defense pointed that out as them just trying to manipulate things into their favor, and I think there is a good argument there. So, anyways,
I think they're right.
Yeah, I think so. But they got that prosecutor off. Now, the judge said, and I wouldn't expect anything less in this situation, the judge said, Broward Circuit Court Judge John Murphy granted the defense's motion to recuse prosecutor Kristen Bradley in an abundance of caution. The judge didn't find that Bradley's integrity had been compromised, but agreed that she couldn't serve as a prosecutor on the case if the defense was planning to call her as a witness regarding the credibility of one of the investigators. Now, what the real reason is, you'll never know, is it because the judge was looking at this and like, whoa, bad look, Let's just wipe it clean and start over. Let's pretend like the first trial never happened and go from there. I don't know. Or is it really because the defense is going to be calling her as a witness? I don't know. But it's interesting all the same.
It could be that. It could be that they're going to call her as a witness, but it could also be... I think it could be both, is all I'm saying. I think it could be both. I don't think she has represented the state well at all. I think there's been multiple things that are very alarming that she's done.
Yeah. And
I think it was a good choice to boot her off. Now, I do think there could be underlying reasons that we will never know.
Yeah, there could be.
The defense was also saying, just dismiss the case, Judge. Saying that they're at risk of trampling on double jeopardy and stuff like that, and talking about the prosecutor's, misconduct and everything like that, and I don't think the judge is going to dismiss it.
No. I don't see that happening. And personally... I would be worried about the judge's integrity if he did just dismiss the case. Now, that's the defense's job to lean on that and try and get it dismissed.
Yeah.
I get it. The defense, a lot of people get really caught up emotionally in cases looking at situations like this where they look at the defense and they're like, oh my God, how could they? How could they be supporting and backing this potential criminal? Look at how they look and things like that. But one thing to remember is the defense has a job to do, only one, and their job isn't to do what the public wants them to do. They are there for their defendant, their client, and they have a job to do, and that job is to show cracks in the case, continue to prove their innocence.
To cause reasonable doubt is
reasonable
what they're
doubt against what the state is claiming the defendant did.
They just need to cause reasonable doubt. That's their job, and uphold the defendant's rights to a fair trial, which I really don't like, and we're going to get into this more in a little bit in a Koberger topic. I really, really don't like the whole idea that defense attorneys, how can you look yourself in the mirror, defending this person? It's not about that. Somebody's got to do the job, and it's incredibly honorable that they do that job. Yep. Because if it weren't for them, we wouldn't be able to have a fair and just justice system.
Yes.
Come
Agreed.
on.
I agree 100%.
What do you mean? How can they sleep at night or look at themselves in the mirror? They know they're doing, God's work. You know what I mean? They're doing something incredible every day with their life.
Well, and the reason why I was saying what I was saying, though, is because there's a few cases out there right now where character assassination has really been leaned on, and this is one of them. So it's not so simple in this case to just cause reasonable doubt in the story because of the character assassination that is coming along with it.
Yeah.
So it turns into a situation where the defense now has to prove their innocence instead of reasonable doubt in the state's case, and unfortunately this is one of those cases. So but let me know what you guys think. Are you as blown away as I am with this? Because I was sitting here before this just trying to think, can I even think off the top of my head where I've seen this happen before ever? It is a huge deal to have a lead prosecutor removed from a case. It is a big deal.
Yeah.
So let me know what you guys think.